What's up, y'all? Inside the Ties, episode 133, your weekly news report on the sneaker business, as opposed to just here's the next new hot drop. Trying to give you guys some information that'll help you out when you decide to make the decision on jumping from either selling sneakers or just drawing sneakers on napkins, and you try to start applying for jobs in the sneaker industry. It'll be good for you to be a lot more informed. So I'm going to go back to the first topic of discussion, which is going to be Katie Nolan's always late. Now, when you look over here to my side, you see the video of Katie as she's rocking the Concords, but she gave the sneaker culture basically 15 minutes. And I wrote this article basically to explain that sneaker culture is completely mainstream now. It's not a niche anymore. Whenever you have television devoting so much time to sneaker culture, things have changed considerably, and everybody has access to the culture, which is really important basically in more ways than one, because it's part of the reason why flipping shoes has kind of died out. But that's a completely different discussion, and we won't go there. That's the end of this segment. We're going to move on to the next topic, and that topic is going to be an article that I wrote last year, right? So last year, the people over at MPD Group, they sat down and they wrote that Yeezy had jumped over the Jumpman. And I wrote this article over here, and it says, not so fast. Now, I wrote that last year, and I was explaining that if you understand the layoffs and all of the things that was taking place over the last 3 years with Nike, at the end of 2017, when Nike did the consumer direct offense, I explained that they had given voice to what it is they were attempting to accomplish, and that was going directly to the consumer. That position of going directly to consumer also includes the fact that Nike has 985 stores since 2013, and all of these things were building up, and you start looking at this information, and what you realize is the last quarterly report, I'm highlighting this so you can see it, it was at 8.7 billion in one of the quarters for 2017. Listen to this. Now, that wasn't even 2017. That was actually in Q4, which is the last quarter for Nike, which is in the spring, at 8.7 billion in 2017. This is Nike's quarterly report for the last quarter, which is basically just ended. It's their Q2. It's everybody else. It's like Q4. But what I want you to see is this information right here. Increased 10% to 9.4 billion. 8.7, 9.4 billion. This means that Nike is on the pace to be doing 40 billion a year. The whole idea of adidas jumping over the Jumpman was way too premature because it didn't factor in Nike was selling more shoes on their own than they were selling traditionally through their wholesale outlets. That's something to think about, and I wrote about it in the book, and you guys can still go to the website and grab the book. Now, the final thing that I'm getting into is extremely important to me personally, because as an African American or a black person, whatever you want to give the label in this regard, as a black person in the sneaker industry, I've worked outside of the industry. I owned sneaker companies. I did not work for a sneaker company. I was isolated and alone and by myself. The people that I know who are in the industry have faced what is called a glass ceiling. In other words, you can look up at the top, but you can never get to the top because the ceiling is put over it and it stops you from elevating to the top. Next year, February 20, 2019, Pensole and FDRA are joining forces to do a celebration of African Americans and sneaker culture. And that is going to be one of the most amazing events that you will ever see. I certainly hope so. I hope I'll be able to get there. If you want to go, the information is on the site. But more important, you can see right here where you see contact Jasmine Pendergrass at jpendergrass@fdra.org. It's a hell of an event, man, and I hope it works. And this is the most beautiful aspect. This was announced at the same time that Converse, Nike, made a decision to hire G. Scott Uzzell as the president and CEO of Converse. That means that a brother is running a sneaker company. And it's not just some small sneaker company like mine. That's amazing. I hope you guys understand why that's amazing. Now, I don't have anything else to add. That's Inside the Ties for this week. Peace, man. It's just a really good feeling.